Hey everyone, and welcome to Spot Work Learning. Today, we're doing a super fast revision of IGCSE Biology Chapter 1, Characteristics and Classification. If you find this guide helpful, do me a huge favor and hit that like button and subscribe, because we have many more biology explainers coming your way. All right, let's jump right in.
Right, so first things first, how do we actually know if something is alive? I mean, really know for sure. Well, biology gives us this fantastic checklist, a set of 7 signs. If something ticks all 7 of these boxes, congratulations, it's a living organism.
And the best way to remember this list is with a classic little mnemonic, GREN. This stands for movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, and nutrition. Every single living thing, and I mean everything, from a microscopic bacterium to a blue whale, does all 7 of these things. This is the absolute foundation of biology, so you've got to know it.
Okay, knowing the list is one thing, but for your exam, you need to know the exact definitions. So let's test that out. This is active recall time. I want you to pause the video and try to say the full, proper definition of movement out loud. Go on, give it a shot.
So how'd you do? The official definition is an action by an organism or part of an organism causing a change of position or place. The key words there are change of position or place. And remember, this doesn't just mean animals running around. Even plants move, like when they turn their leaves to face the sun. It's super slow, but it's definitely movement.
Nice one. Let's try one more. This one is absolutely vital for life to even continue. So what's the precise definition of reproduction? Pause again and see if you've got this one locked in.
And the answer is the processes that make more of the same kind of organism. It sounds simple, right? But it's so important. Without reproduction, a species just gets one generation, and that's it. Game over. So takeaway, know GREN, and know those definitions backwards and forwards. Okay, so we figured out if something is alive. But what in the world do we call it? With millions of species out there, we need a universal system, a shared language, so that a scientist in one country knows exactly what a scientist on the other side of the planet is talking about. And that system gives us names like this one. You've definitely seen this before. Homo sapiens. That's us. This simple 2-part name is at the very heart of how we organize and classify all life. Let's break it down. The best way to think about it is like your own name. The first part, the genus, in our case Homo, is like your last name. It tells you the broader group you belong to, and it always starts with a capital letter. The second part, the species, sapiens, is like your first name. It's specific to you, and it always starts with a small letter. Don't mix that up, it's an easy mark to lose. And here it is, the official definition you'll want to memorize for the exam. They call it the binomial system. Just remember, bi means 2, and nomial means name. 2 names. It's that simple. The key parts are that it's internationally agreed and has 2 parts. Okay, let's zoom out. We've gone from individual species names right up to the biggest, broadest categories of life. Every single living thing we know of fits into one of 5 enormous groups, and we call these the kingdoms. And here they are: animals, plants, fungi, protists, which are mostly your single-celled organisms, and last but not least, prokaryotes, which is where we find bacteria. Now, 4 of these groups have something huge in common, which makes one of them the odd one out. So let's put a prokaryote, like a bacterium, under the microscope. This diagram is so important. You can see it has a cell wall, cytoplasm, some DNA floating around. But take a really close look. What massive, crucial part of a cell is just not there? You got it. There is no nucleus. This is a non-negotiable fact you have to remember. Prokaryotes, like bacteria, have no nucleus. Their DNA just kind of hangs out in the cytoplasm. But every other kingdom, animals, plants, fungi, and protists, they're all eukaryotes. And that means their cells do have a nucleus. It's one of the biggest dividing lines in all of biology. All right, now that we have the big picture of the 5 kingdoms, let's zoom back in on some specific groups that examiners absolutely love to ask about. First up, from the animal kingdom, we have the arthropods. This is a huge group. It includes insects, spiders, crabs, you name it. They all share a hard outer shell called an exoskeleton, and they all have jointed legs. But examiners love to set a trap by asking you to tell them apart. But there's a secret, and it's super simple. Just count the legs. I'm not kidding, you should probably screenshot this slide for your revision notes. It's a game changer. Look, Insects always have 3 pairs of legs, so 6 total. Arachnids, like spiders, always have 4 pairs, so 8 total. Crustaceans have more than 4 pairs, and myriapods have tons. Just memorize this little chart and you are ready for any arthropod question they throw at you.
Okay, switching gears to the plant kingdom. Flowering plants are split into 2 big groups, and you need to be able to tell them apart. On the left, we've got a monocot. On the right, a dicot. You can already see some differences in the leaves and flowers, but let's get specific on what to look for.
Here are the 3 golden rules. First, look at the leaf veins. In monocots, they run in straight, parallel lines. In dicots, they make a branching network. Next, look at the flowers. Monocot petals come in multiples of 3. Dicot petals come in multiples of 4 or 5. And finally, that weird word cotyledon just means the first seed leaf. Mono means 1, di means 2. Monocots have 1, dicots have 2. Easy.
We've classified animals, we've classified plants, but now we're going to look at something that breaks all the rules we just learned, a real biological puzzle. Let's talk about viruses.
Which brings us to the big philosophical question. We just went through the 7 characteristics of life with MRS-GREN. So, based on that fundamental checklist, are viruses even alive?
Well, let's just look at its structure. I mean, look at this thing. It's not even a cell. A virus is basically just a piece of genetic material, some DNA or RNA, wrapped up in a little protein jacket. That is literally it. No cytoplasm, no nucleus, none of the usual stuff.
So, the final verdict is no. Viruses are not considered truly living. They totally fail the MRS-GREN test. They can't grow, they can't excrete, they can't do most of it on their own. And, crucially, they can't reproduce unless they hijack a living host cell and use its machinery. They're these strange things that exist right on the blurry edge between life and non-life.
And that's a wrap, a super fast tour of Chapter 1. From MRS-GREN all the way to the weirdness of viruses, you are now totally prepped to tackle those exam questions. You've got this. Thanks so much for revising with us, and if this helped you out, please remember to like and subscribe to Spotwork Learning for more.